Hello and welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. I'm Brent, I'm sitting here with Dustin, and week 3 is upon us. Now this is the week where you normally start to see a lot of separation in your league, so we're going to be going over guys you should be trying to get in your lineup and guys you should be taking out of your lineup.
First thing we want to go over is we want to give you 5 top 15 running backs that are off to terrible starts so far this year, but they all have decent matchups this week and they need to stay in your lineup. We got Forte, Slayton, Jacobs, Westbrook, and Portis. Now Westbrook and Portis are questionable this week, but it looks like they're going to play. But there's a reason you took these guys in one of the first 2 rounds of your draft. Keep them in your lineup. They're going to have big games this week.
Alright, next I'm going to take a look at 2 matchups where you pretty much want to start everybody with fantasy relevance. And that's Arizona versus the Colts and New England against Buffalo. Now that's everybody except maybe Beanie Wells. I'm sorry to the Wells lovers out there, but he really hasn't stepped up that much this season. But Hightower, Lee Evans, they all got to get in the game. And for the Patriots, if Wes Welker doesn't play because he's a game-time decision, look for Edelman to be possible pick-up and play. He had 8 catches for 98 yards last week, so again, that's just a sneaky little play for you, possibly.
Alright, now we're going to get into some stardom sit-ems that we pulled straight from our forums. First one comes from Bigger Boat, Chris Johnson, or McFadden.
You know, that's actually a savvy owner right there, because Chris Johnson had a huge week last week, and just due to the fact that he's thinking of benching him is great. He is playing a tough Jets defense. But you got to remember, McFadden's playing a Denver defense that's only allowed 13 points this year, and Oakland's offense isn't just too stellar. So for this one, go with your stud, go with Chris Johnson. The next one for me right now is Go Twins is asking you, 2 of your favorite boys here, Benson or Leon Washington. Who do you start?
I do love these guys, but Benson's matchup's just way too scary this week. Pittsburgh's way too good against the run to start Benson. Now, Tennessee does have a good run defense, but Leon always has a chance of getting involved in the passing game, and Tennessee's passing defense is terrible. Alright, now we got one from SVC Face. Wants to know, if Wes Welker is out, should he start Royal or Mason?
Well, first tip is, like I was saying earlier, drop a guy if you have him on your bench that isn't that valuable, and pick up Edelman, but I guess I got to answer your question. So if I was going to answer your question, go with Mason. He's been more consistent. I would say start him. Now we got one from Saints Fan 1988, and he's wondering Steve Smith, the Giants version, or Pierre Thomas.
There's just way too much going on right now with the Saints and the running backs. I say you stay away from Pierre Thomas until you know what's going on. I say the safer play here is Steve Smith, especially in a PPR league. I think he has a good game against the Buccaneers. Alright, now we got one from Rabid Emu who wants to know Brandon Marshall or Percy Harvin.
Emu, always throwing the tough ones out. Alright, for this one, it's all based on your league settings. If return yards count, I say start Percy Harvin. If they don't, the answer is Brandon Marshall. So make sure you know your league settings. Last one here is from Mia93, and she wants to know Kurt Warner or Eli Manning.
This one is kind of tricky, but I'm going to say Kurt Warner just because I think there's a much better chance that the Giants will get up early and just run the ball the whole second half. I think the Cardinals could be playing from behind against Indy. I say you stick with Kurt Warner. I think he has a decent game. Alright, now we're going to get into our studs, duds, and sleepers. My stud this week is a guy who has yet to have a good game, but I'm going Brandon Jacobs against Tampa Bay. I think he might even get in the end zone, maybe even 2 times this week. My dud is McFadden against Denver. I just really don't see Oakland having any success against Denver's D. And my sleeper is Mike Sims Walker. I loved him before the season. I love that he's a starter now, and I think he might even match his numbers from last week.
Alright, my stud is going to be Maurice Jones-Drew. Now, he's playing the Texans, which is a weak defensive team. Look for Jones-Drew to run wild on him. My dud is Cedric Benson. He's going up against the Steelers, who they're a good defense, and they just tackle people. Let's put it that way. Next is my sleeper, and that's Willis McGahee. Now, he's been added in a ton of leagues because he's off to such a hot start, but he has been moving up into starting lineups. Now, he's playing the Browns this week, and I think he's going to match Dustin Stud over there and get 1, maybe 2 touchdowns.
It's bold. That's
I
bold.
might even beat him and get 3.
It could happen. It could happen. But that's it for this week. Enjoy the games. I'll be back Tuesday night for the Waiver Wire show, and then we'll be back Thursday night for our weekly show. Don't forget to get in those forums and ask us any questions you might have. Until next time, I'm Dustin. This is Brent. We'll see you then.